Bother you when things go wrong. If you're glum, just hum and some good luck will come along. Bother you when things go wrong. If you're glum, just hum and some good luck will come along. Don't let it bother you if now and then you may stumble, never grumble. Count from 1 to 10. A frown is a smile upside down, so turn that frown upside down and smile and sing. La-da-da-da-da-da-da, sing, sing, sing. Don't let it bother you if skies are gray. Learn to grin, take it on the chin. Everything will be okay.
It's good company here. We love the Myrna Loy, and we are so glad you're here to support it. It's with your help that great music can keep happening at the Myrna Loy. So please donate generously, and we're really looking forward to performing with you just as soon as all this blows over.
No, it's okay.
All right, ready camera 1, ready camera 2. Let's roll sound. Okay, Myrna's Night Out, take 2, action.
Welcome to the Myrna Loy for Myrna's Night Out, Take 2, on this beautiful summer day. We are happy to welcome you to this live launch of our online auction to benefit the Myrna Loy and arts in the Helena community. I'm Chris Holmes, the Executive Director of the Myrna Loy, and with me is our Board President, Kirby Lambert. Kirby, thanks for coming.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for letting me be part of this.
And in the lobby, in the pub area, we have a very small party of socially distanced, well, let's say socially together but physically distanced friends and people who are joining the party. And we hope that you are joining the party from home as well, getting ready to bid on our auction, getting ready to participate with us, and just being engaged with the Myrna Loy. So, we have an online auction going. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Kirby?
Well, sure. I think this is very exciting. We, of course, originally had planned to do this in person at the Civic Center with a nice, actually beautiful sit-down dinner and traditional auction. That obviously didn't happen, and I think we all know the reason why. We don't have to go into that and dwell on the unpleasant aspects. But we've regrouped, and here we are, and we're trying something that's new for us. You might or might not notice a few technical glitches, but we're going to roll with them, and we have an excellent crew, so I can guarantee you their expertise. I can't guarantee mine, so if there's any glitches, feel free to blame me.
Well, you know, we always say that art is an improvisational practice, and life is an improvisational art. So we will improvise here, and all of us will join in this together.
The important thing is, A, to have fun, and B, spend lots of money. That's what we really care about.
Yes, to raise money for our Myrna Loy.
That's right.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the auction items that people can bid on or look at over this weekend. First, we might want to load up the slide that gives you instructions for how to register for this online auction. Do we have that slide? And there are several steps, but they're all really easy. There's a website to go to register, and then you download an app. It has to be onto your phone, either an iPhone or an Android. The app is very secure. This is a very reputable company. You go onto the app, they email you a code. You put your code in there, you know, it has these security measures, and sign up, and be sure to allow push notifications, because if you have that, it will ping you when someone has bid on one of your favorite items, and so you can kind of keep track of those things that you have your eye on. So what's one of your favorite pieces?
Boy, I have so many, it's hard to say. But of course, travel is always inviting. And this year, I think we're doing a lot more travel at home in our own backyards. Mm-hmm. And we are extremely fortunate to live someplace where we can call Yellowstone Park our own backyard. Right. And so I have to say the getaway package to Yellowstone is certainly something that I'm interested in. I'm always ready to go to Yellowstone. You know, pretty much any time of the year, because the different seasons are so great, and you can go experience different activities or see the animals. Probably, hopefully, maybe fewer tourists this year, so that's a plus.
But even so, 2 nights in your very own cabin on Yellowstone Lake, that's pretty great.
It doesn't get better than that.
It doesn't get better than that. I think one of my favorites is our very own former board president and great friend, Phil Campbell, is once again offering a sail on Flathead Lake. He has a 36-foot sailboat, and will take 2 or 4 people for a day sail with lunch and take you out to all the scenic spots around Flathead Lake, the largest freshwater body of water east of the Great Lakes. And that is an amazing treasure. So that is always one of my favorites.
Well, Actually, I would kind of discourage people from bidding on that particular one.
Oh, would you
I
now?
would.
Why?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that I myself am planning on bidding that and would
I'm
really like to have
sure.
it. So I think Flathead Lake is really overrated. It's not
It
that scenic.
rains,
It rains. A
it's
sailboat? Who wants to
choppy.
be on a sailboat? So-
Right, with Phil Campbell and
Exactly,
Judy Fay, really
exactly.
great
Yeah,
people
yeah,
with
let's-
lunch and.
Yeah, don't. That's the only one we really don't want you to bid on.
Okay, thanks for that, Kirby.
But, so you can't go to Flathead Lake because I'll be doing that myself. But how about going to Phillipsburg? It's a great town. It's a 1880s silver mining town. Everybody thinks of gold mining when they think of Montana history, but silver was almost as important as gold. Phillipsburg is a great town. Its history is wonderfully preserved. The architecture is great. They have candy and beer, and what more could you possibly want?
Candy, beer, and mountains.
And mountains, scenery, good historic architecture, a great kind of Airbnb home that will accommodate, I think it's up to 10 people, if I remember
Right.
correctly. And I can't bid on that one because I don't have 10 friends, but the people who have 10 friends or 10 family members, that sounds like a really fantastic
Yeah.
outing as well.
It really does. But here we are yammering on, and we have a missive from Molly Roby, who sent in a video from wherever she is enjoying this party. Let's have a little listen with Molly.
I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who can ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pasture, I don't mind him, I got my man who can ask for anything more, who can ask for anything more.
Well, we've got some more exciting adventures to talk about in this day and age when people want to be outside and taste the fresh air and do some experiences that they maybe don't get to do all the time and have some fun, but still be safe and still travel close to home. I just want to say on our online auction, 2 really amazing experiences that you can participate in or share with friends or send visiting family off to enjoy. And one is fishing with Hal Harper on the Missouri River. He is a philosopher and a statesman and a storyteller and a fly fisherman, and will tell you all about how to catch and release in a responsible way. And you will have so much fun and laugh and fish and enjoy the fresh air of the Missouri River. And another is a drift boat fishing trip on the Clark Fork with Larry Comer, who is a wonderful, generous family who's happens to have a family member who works at the Myrna Loy. So we snagged this special donation from him. So 2 river trips this summer that are really fantastic that you can bid on.
And I can give my personal stamp of approval to the Larry Comer float on the Clark Fork because we were lucky enough, my wife and I, to win that last year, and it was just a fantastic outing. It was so much fun, and we don't even fish. I think Larry was a little perplexed by that somebody would show up and not want to fish. But we had a great time. The scenery is beautiful. The lunch was great.
Did you get a sunburn?
Did not. We were very well prepared with our sunscreen, and Larry's a great host and knows a lot, very pleasant. We had great conversations. It was just a really fun thing to do. So.
And all these little packages have added on extras of lunches here or a gift certificate there, and there are all these little details, right, that people should check out
right.
when they're, yeah.
And then the next couple of things that we have to offer, you don't even have to leave home. And these are unique experiences with some of Helena's best-known celebrities, if we want to call them that. I think Dr. Ellen Baumler is Helena's premier historian. I had the pleasure to work with her for many years. Even working closely with her, I never did figure out how she accomplished everything she accomplished. I think she just is one of those people that doesn't sleep. But she's offering a ghost tour of the neighborhood around the Myrna Loy. Then it'll have to be scheduled at Ellen's convenience and your convenience. It's a tour for 10. It includes a tour of the original governor's mansion. It includes neighborhood walking around. I mean, I would encourage you to do this, around Halloween time. just because that's when you should be doing ghostly sorts
Right.
of things. But you know, you can trust Ellen and what she tells you. She's just does impeccable research, so that's great. Another person that I've had the pleasure of working with, who also has his own local fan club, I think, is Jim Schultz.
Yeah.
He was a science teacher by profession. He's also a musician. He does he's one of those people. He's an artist. He has some works in the auction tonight. He's one of those people I've never found anything he can't do.
Right.
And so he's offering a tour of Mount Helena, a guided tour. So you got to be willing to put a little energy into the hike, but it's going to be well worth it because he's going to tell you some things you
Great
didn't know
stories.
about Helena and Mount Helena.
Yeah, and about where the stones came from that made a lot of the buildings in Helena, including the Myrna Loy.
Right, right.
Yeah, he's got a lot of. Okay, so my favorite, I just have to tell you about because it's so exciting and it's brand new and would not have been available during the live event that we couldn't have in March. But you have to go on and find this item, which is Broadway in your living room. So this is an amazing opportunity to have a 1-hour Zoom conversation with 2 Broadway stars from your favorite show. And if you look on the website, the list of the shows is incredible. I stopped at Hamilton because that's the one I want. You get a Zoom conversation with them in your living room. So invite all of your theater friends to come over and talk to these 2 stars from a number of different shows that you can pick, and they will tell you backstage stories and kind of behind the scenes, and they might sing you a song, and there's a little opportunity for Q&A. So it's like having, a family reunion with Broadway stars, or it's like having an opportunity to be backstage at Broadway during a time when Broadway isn't even performing. So this is really a special thing. All of your theater friends and musical friends and Broadway fans that you know have to go and bid on this amazing, amazing opportunity, and only available here at the Myrna Loy.
That really is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the idea of a conversation. I'm not sure I'd probably be one of those things. The minute it started, I would be totally tongue-tied and not know what to say. So
Well, maybe they're prepared for that.
I bet they probably are.
Yeah.
Well, our next item that we want to talk about is also, once again, a little closer to home. And this one is consulting with an interior decorator that will come to you and give you some great insight. And then it also comes with 10 gallons of premium paint. And I think that's something that a lot of people could use.
$700 worth of paint.
$700 worth. This is a good time to stay home and do some work. I know it's been on my list to do some work around the house. I haven't quite
Oh,
managed
I
to
bet,
accomplish
Kirby.
it yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is on the list.
Yeah, I bet. Going back to Broadway stars, not to rub it in, but we have some actors in town who are just short of Broadway themselves. One of our board members, Keith Brewer, and his wife Galen have made a video for us that celebrates the Myrna Loy. So, Keith and Galen, let's see what you have.
Hey, doll. You here for Myrna's night out?
Absolutely, baby. Give me a glass of your best giggle water. I want to toast the joint and this ritzy event. The programs and the shows they have here are the bee's knees. I've checked out all the goods they have up for auction. They have some swell and swanky treasures.
Got your eye on anything?
A nifty little package. Now I gotta count my clams so I can get my bid in.
Hope you join us.
The Myrna Loy is a community of artists and people who appreciate art and people who are enriched by art. And over the 7 years of the Myrna Loy's existence as Second Story Cinema or the Myrna Loy Center or the Myrna Loy, we have always engaged with local artists to perform and create and collaborate with us and with other organizations. And as we do so, we are cognizant of the fact that it's not just the Myrna Loy that needs support, but it's local artists who need support as well. One of the auction items that you can bid on, one of my personal favorites, is you can have a private house concert with one of Helena's favorite bands, Los Marvelitos. So during the COVID-19 shutdown period, when everything was dark and unfriendly here at the Myrna Loy, and it felt very much like we were returning to its roots as a jail, it was very quiet, Los Marvelitos came and recorded on stage a few songs, and we did some video clips with them, just thinking about the future of performance at the Myrna Loy. So let's have a look at what Los Marvelitos is doing these days as you prepare to bid on a house concert with Los Marvelitos in your living room or your backyard.
Es la cumbia del viejo, el viejo que ya no puede tocarla nunca jamás. Esta es la cumbia del recuerdo de los años pasados, pero no mira detrás. Ay, no llora cuando bailas conmigo. Ay, no llora, él tiene libertad. Esta es la cumbia del viejo que ya no baila, ni grita nunca jamás. Mientras todos estamos viviendo, él está solo y sufriendo, pero no encuentra la paz. Ay, no llora cuando baila conmigo. Ay, no llora, él tiene libertad. Esta es la cumbia del viejo que ya no puede tocarla nunca jamás. Mientras todos estamos viviendo, él está solo y sufriendo y no encuentra la paz. Ay, no llora cuando baila conmigo. Ay, no llora, él tiene libertad.
Hello, everybody. We're back. I'm Chris Holmes. This is Kirby Lambert. We are live from the Myrna Loy, launching our online auction that goes until Sunday evening. So you have just a few days to look at the online auction, bid on some things, and support your Myrna Loy and all the things that we do. One of the things that I'm proudest about the Myrna Loy is all the arts education activities that we do. We have this amazing arts education coordinator, Retta Lee Part, who conducts between 80 and 100 arts education experiences in a year and brings in visiting artists and works with local teaching artists and creates workshops that are just perfect for any community of people, a group. There are classes, there are students at Intermountain Children's Home. We've done workshops with Chaudere Hospital and students of all ages and people throughout the community. She just does a really stellar job. And one of the teachers that we are really thrilled about working with is Abby Nyhoff, who is a music teacher at Warren and at Central Elementary. And Abby sent us this video about what the Myrna Loy Arts Education Program does in the schools and gives her view of the impact of this work in Helena's schools. So let's listen to Abby Nyhoff.
I teach elementary music. I teach 20 different classes ranging from kindergarten to 5th grade at 2 different buildings. Each class has music for 30 minutes twice a week. All told, I have over 400 individual students. I teach music because music was a formative influence for me as a child, and I believe students should have the same opportunities I did. I believe most of you are here supporting the Myrna Loy because the arts, whether music, dance, theater, film, or visual arts, have played a significant role in your lives, and you feel strongly that these arts should be available to your community. For most of my students, I am the only official arts education they will receive before age 12. While some of them have the financial means and support to participate in things like dance or theater outside of school, most of them do not. Maybe you, like me, were one of the privileged few, but let's focus on those students whose parents work paycheck to paycheck or are unemployed, who may be struggling to maintain adequate housing or transportation. Let's focus on my students who live at God's love, not in the cards. Public education is their gateway to the world at large. When my students reach middle school, their arts opportunities expand to include visual arts. In high school, the scope widens. I work with so many amazing teachers who include wonderful visual arts lessons in their classroom. I work with a teacher who puts on an adapted Shakespeare play every spring. Elementary teachers must be the jack of all trades. But how can we provide quality arts education when most of these teachers are not certified in an arts field? Some have an arts background to draw on, but many, by their own admission, do not. When I first learned of the Myrna's educational outreach program, I was thrilled. I'm a musician, but I have no formal dance training. I'm a white, classically trained Myrna Loy. My students have experienced many traditions and backgrounds. As I scheduled my first Myrna residency, my heart yelled, "Let's do it!" while my brain said, "Can we afford it?" My annual classroom budget ranges in any given year from $200 to $350. For me, it generally works out to less than $1 per student. Classroom teachers in my building receive $100 per year. Of course, these budgets go to classroom supplies, books, resources, technology, furniture, snacks. What's left over for enrichment experiences? Support from grants supplemented by you, the Myrna's generous supporters, means I can afford a residency. I don't have to choose between replacing worn-down instruments and giving my students a life-changing experience with Martha Redbone. I can make sure my students have pencils and Kleenex and the chance to meet Kowal musicians from Iran. Last year, I had a 4th grade cohort at Warren School that loved to dance. At every opportunity, they danced. As fortnight dances swept the world, these students went beyond, asking for share days to perform for their classmates. A few students developed choreography to their favorite songs. When a classmate moved away, a student said goodbye with a heartfelt dance to "When I See You Again." The glimmer of an idea began, and I fired off an email to Retta saying essentially, together to discuss a residency. Derry Harpole spent 4 Friday afternoons with my 4th grade students at Warren. In each 30-minute move, one student quickly began to shine. We'll call him Alex. The thing is with teachers and with other students, he was extremely familiar with the principal's office. During music, he and I were glued at the hip because I wasn't sure what might happen if he were further away. And then we started breakdancing. Alex took to it easily. As students learned the 6th step, he was the first to master it. By the end of the very first day, his classmates were calling out to him for help. "Hey, Alex, show me how to do that." I think he left 3 inches taller. Over those 4 weeks, Alex was different. He was no longer the problem kid. He was the breakdancing expert after that. That residency was special, not just because of Alex's experience, but because, as I reflect now, it marked the moment that the Myrna stopped being about special occasions for me and my students and became just another tool in my teacher toolbox. When I plan my lessons, I draw on shelves full of books, websites, and professional organizations, and my friends at the Myrna Loy. So to all of you who have made this possible, for me, for my colleagues, and especially for Alex and the rest of my students, thank you. Your contributions are truly changing lives.
Make some noise.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. We are having a wonderful time here out at Myrna's Night Out, Take 2. And we hope you're all having a wonderful time out there in your own homes. Please join us for our online auction. Support the Myrna Loy, and then come.
Are we back? All right. Well, some people get to party in the pub, and some of us have to work hard. And speaking of working hard, I have just become president of the board, and it's an honor I am privileged to have. But I have big shoes to fill. We nabbed Bruce Wittenberg, who is just retiring or going off, leaving as our president of the board. He was our president of the board. He's still on the board. But he's here. He was partying in the pub, and I nabbed him to do a little work with me here. So I think we are ready. Oh, I was going to say one more thing about our arts education programs and how wonderful they are. I want to point out that there is a tab right there on the auction screen. It's very easy. You just click a button and you can donate to our arts educations program. That's our version of a call for cash. The money goes straight to some of our excellent programming, and certainly if by some chance there's not anything here that appeals to you as part of the auction, I encourage you to go online and donate to the arts education, because that's money very well spent. And so I have Bruce here with me, and thank you,
Hello,
Bruce,
everyone.
for joining us.
I want to welcome you to the PBS Pledge Drive. No, wait a minute, that's wrong script. It's this one here. It's good to have you all here, and we're sorry we missed you earlier this year at Myrna's Night Out, but we hope that you're at home and you've shaken up a good cocktail or poured yourself a glass of wine and are enjoying Myrna's Night Out Take 2 with us this evening. We've got a lot of wonderful items to talk about, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to need to bid these up because we've got some great things here. And I think a few of us here this evening might be bidding against you. So be prepared, have those credit cards ready, and let's get on with this auction.
All right, and here is one that, I mean, it just doesn't get better than this. This is coming to us from artist Del Livesey, one of Helena's finest artists, and we're so thankful that he has agreed to participate in the auction. He has donated or contributed Dawn Comes to the Elkhorns. It's a beautiful painting, very classic Dell, for those of you who know and appreciate his work. It's just beautiful. The colors of blue. I'm not looking at the camera like I should be. I'm looking over at the painting because it just is so beautiful. But anyway, I think you could never go wrong buying a Del Libizzi painting. This is certainly a stellar example of his work.
Over to me.
Yeah.
Well, we'd also like to thank Amy Brakeman-Livesey for donating a piece for the Myrna this year, Sidelong Glances. And I want to say that not only is Amy an amazing artist, she's a wonderful person. I happen to own a piece of Amy's work myself, and I'm kind of looking for a companion piece. So get ready to bid this one up. Amy Brakeman-Livesey's vintage meets modern style is making her one of the most collectible artists of our time. As Amy says, the starting point of this painting was an inspiration from a piece of vintage Ziegfeld Follies sheet music, with Myrna Loy shown on the front. The Myrna Loy look, that sly smile, like she knows something about you that she'd rather you didn't know, and hope she doesn't tell. A little bit of history about Amy, and she shares this story. One reason I was drawn to include Myrna Loy in a painting is that my first job in Helena was projecting movies at the Myrna Loy in 1993. That was when we had to handle large reels of 35 millimeter film loaded on a big platform that fed into the projector. With older prints, there was plenty of hoping that the film wouldn't break or get stuck in the projector and melt away during the show. The winning bidder of this and 3 guests will be invited to Amy's studio for a tour of a work underway, as well as a delectable spread of wine and cheese. This is a spectacular piece. Amy is a wonderful artist, and we hope you'll bid this up.
Yes, if I had to choose between Del and Amy, their work, I would be really hard pressed to choose because they just both are so fantastic in such different ways. But that's one thing that makes Montana art so great, is that there are so many different options, something that appeals to everyone. And for those who don't want to stay home in Montana here under the big sky and appreciate art, we even have the opportunity for you to go to California and drink. And who doesn't want to do that? Ultimate Wine Tour in the Wine Country Oasis, and that includes a place to stay, it includes tours, it includes chauffeur-driven vehicles. A great time. I mean, who doesn't need a little wine at this point in our lives? And of course, Montana is better than California, but California is a pretty nice place if you're not going to be in Montana. So this is another great package.
And we have another a very amazing piece here from a Japanese artist. Here's your chance to own an original woodblock print by Japanese artist Ando Hiroshiga. It also graced the collections in the U.S. Library of Congress, the British Museum, and the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. The same print in the Honolulu Museum of Art was a gift from the author James A. Michener in 1991. The scene is from Hiroshiga's famous series, 53 Stations of Hokkaido Road, and was printed between 1848 and 1852, 170 years ago. Now, this is a woodblock print that was generously donated by Ivalone Hodges of Helena in support of the Myrna Loy. She said it was acquired by her late husband's great uncle in Japan. We would encourage you to take a look at this. It's a rare and beautiful piece, and we're blessed to have it in the Myrna Loy auction this evening.
Okay, and did you have a couple of other photos and woodblock prints you were going to tell us about?
I have 7 churches, Irishmore County, Clare, by Tom Ferris, which is a photograph. Tom Ferris, many of you know Tom. He's a wonderful photographer here in town, a wonderful artist, and we're fortunate to have this piece. 7 churches, Irishmore County, Clare is 27-inch by 16.5-inch silver gelatin print, handsomely matted and framed, number 1 of 5. The 7 churches on the island of Rushmore off the coast of Western Ireland do not quite live up to the name, but when the ancient structures were built around the 7th or 8th century, they were one of the earliest and most popular Christian pilgrimage sites in the country. Bit of bio on Tom. Well, you know Tom Ferris. He's one of the great photographers in Montana, and this is a piece you should really take a look at and bid it up.
Great. For those of you who are looking at some of these package titles, some of the titles of the items in the auction, And if you're also fans of Myrna Loy, the actress, you might notice that we worked hard to give some of these packages Myrna Loy movie titles, and our next one is no exception, Cheaper by the Dozen. A great movie, Myrna at her best, a lot of fun. Anyway, this is our board member Molly Roby worked really hard to come up with some creative things she could put together in quantities of a dozen. And so, yes, it's cheaper by the dozen. That doesn't mean you can't bid it up. But we have all kind of things that you can get a dozen of: cookies, brownies, suet blocks for birds, gift certificates for tacos at Carmadillo's, and the vanilla bean. You might not lose weight on this package, but you'll sure have a good time eating your way through Helena. So another fun thing to bid on.
Back to me?
Sure.
All right. We've got Into the Wind, which was donated by Dutch Bieber. Dutch Bieber's The Chair Project, which you may have seen in the Myrna Loy Gallery, began with a bridge, a chair, and a plan. In his own words, he experimented with a variety of approaches to making meaning by placing the chair in different and diverse contexts. The placements of the chair were playful, nonsense, opportunistic, spontaneous, improvisational, planned, and occasionally Plan B rescues. The 12-inch by 18-inch photo is printed on 300 GSM, whatever that is, archival cotton rag paper. That sounds really good and important. Good stuff. With archival inks. Number 1 in an edition of only 10. Into the Wind is framed to the dimension of 19 by 25 inches. This is a great piece by Dutch Bieber, and if you saw the exhibition that he did in the Myrna Gallery, you'll have a particular appreciation for this. So take a look at Into the Wind by Dutch Bieber and bid it up for us this evening.
Okay. Without Chris here to guide me, I've kind of lost my place a little bit. We are
Ready for Kelly's video.
Oh, we're ready for a video from one of our board members. Let's see what Kelly has to say.
Hello, my name is Kelly Elder, and I want to take just a moment to thank you for supporting the Myrna Loy. In this COVID era, it's a little tough sometimes. We don't get to dress up. I'm not in my 1920s garb for my night out. You might not look like a flapper, and we might all have masks on. But we still have the opportunity to support the Myrna Loy, and I want to encourage you to please do that. One of the advantages, let's look at the glass being half full. If you're in a socially distanced area and you can remove your mask, that's awesome. But you can go about your business dressed as you'd like to be dressed and still support the Myrna Loy. I've found while I've been taking care of business today, I was actually able to bid on some items right in the privacy of my own latrine. So whatever you're doing, thanks for supporting the Myrna Loy and keeping Helena the wonderful arts community that it is. Thank you.
Welcome back. The next item is lovely lady slippers donated by Jim Schultz. Now you all know Jim Schultz. Jim's an educator, teacher, musician in town. Think Dublin Gulch, one of the great local groups around. Jim is a fabulous musician and a member of the board of the Myrna Loy, a very generous donor. Enjoy the lovely woodblock print lady slipper orchids in your home while remembering your delight in finding them on the forest floor once upon a time. This woodblock print was made by Jim Schultz of Helena based on orchids he saw while hiking to Devil's Glen stretch of the Dearborn River southwest of Augusta. And I'll bet some of you have been there. It's a 5-inch by 9.5-inch woodblock print. It's framed in black to 19 by 23 inches. It's a great piece by a great artist and musician, Jim Schultz, and we want you to bid it up tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce. I think we are ready for Chris.
I handed it off to Chris?
I think so. If not, I might have to sing, and that will be the death knell of this entire evening if that happens.
So, Kirby, you're the board president. Why didn't you make a video?
Well, as a matter of fact, I did make a video. Maybe we should watch it now.
Well, I would like to see it. Did Kirby make a video?
Support the Myrna Loy. It's Helena's best source for Well, Okay, maybe not murder. Support the Myrna Loy. It's Helena's best source for
So, thank you, Bruce. Thank you to everybody. Let's talk about how the Myrna Loy is adjusting to these tumultuous and changing times.
Okay.
One of the things that we are doing as the movie industry, which is in kind of total chaos, speaking of chaos, finds itself, is we have launched a weekly summer season called our Throwback Thursdays. So, every Thursday, all summer long, we will be showing throwback films, some of the favorite films that have played at the Myrna Loy. We started tonight with Won't You Be My Neighbor, which is a very recent film. You can go on the myrnaloy.com website and see what the whole summer schedule is. But we wanted, during this time, a way to invite people back to experience movies in small audiences with a very clean, sanitized space. Everyone has masks on. We ask all of you to wear your masks until you are seated. We're monitoring the health conditions. We have a very robust cleaning protocol here, and we want you to feel comfortable coming back to the movies once again and to enjoy that wonderful Myrna Loy popcorn.
Absolutely.
And we're also looking at live performances. We're kind of taking this as an opportunity to ask local artists, what is the creative opportunity here in these challenges? I believe that the arts are going to be what holds us together as a community and what restores our souls and what also generates a little bit of economic vitality for Helena. So we'll be doing some neighborhood parties. We're doing an outdoor event later in August. And we're also doing a couple of other projects with local artists. And one of the most important things that we do, I think, one of my favorite parts of this job, is the Myrna Loy Grants to Artists program, where we give direct cash grants to local artists of all disciplines: ceramic, painters, dancers, musicians, composers, poets, writers. And it's been a tradition since way back in the Second Story Cinema days. One of our local Grants to Artists recipients this year was the David and Deirdre Casey Band. And they too came to do a little recording on stage while we were quiet. They kept our tech director, Lenny Eckhart, very busy, and are just dropping a new CD this summer that we're very proud of, and we want to support their effort. So let's have a listen to some new work by the David and Deirdre Casey Band.
This is how it starts. A twitch upon the thread that leads me home. We did our best to play the part, me and my slow to learn soul. Me and my slow to learn soul. I'm hoping I'm heading home now. 'Cause I searched high, but lately I search low. What if we save the best for last? How else am I gonna know till that twitch upon the thread leaves me back home? Is that a lover or a thief? Through the open curtain came last night. The hook was set beyond release. Me and my slow to learn soul. Me and my slow to
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us here as we are live in the gallery of the Myrna Loy, Chris Holmes, Kirby Lambert, representing the Myrna and the community. We are both people who are, through our own passion and interest in the arts and history and the community of Helena, sort of got to where we are in our different positions. I'm the executive director, Kirby is the president of the board, and we're very glad that you are here with us today. We believe at the Myrna Loy, in this jailhouse where we are stationed behind these prison doors, that art transforms everything. And we have each seen in our own ways how arts transforms the community and does its work in lifting up and uniting and inspiring the community of Helena. And the Myrna Loy works to inspire the artists and support the artists that do their work, and to inspire the community in as many ways as we possibly can. Whether you are able to come into the building or whether we come out to you. And online is kind of opening up some new opportunities for us that we didn't really have before. So as we put together this online auction, some items came to us that we didn't even have when we were planning our live event back in March. And it might be a good time to talk about some other little things before we go, items that people can bid on to support the Myrna Loy.
Okay. And jumping off script for a minute, I just want to point out, or say my own personal thank you to Chris and all of the staff. I mean, Helena is such a great community, and we're lucky in so many ways. And one of the reasons we're lucky is the Myrna Loy. And one of the reasons that the Myrna Loy is so great is because of the incredible staff. They're led by Chris, but she has just amazing people behind her. And
Yes, we do.
yeah. I've always appreciated them, but since I've been on the board, I appreciate them more than ever and realize how hard they work and how much they do, how creative they are. It's just fantastic, and I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity to be part of that. So,
well, thank you.
That's my little side note commercial.
And we also want to thank everybody who's watching us online. We've had some new registrations. We've had some bids come in during this time, which is kind of incredible because, we don't have any training in this.
Right, exactly.
And people are still responding. Maybe they're just...
Feel sorry for us?
Yeah, maybe we should have had to bid here to make them shut up button. We'll do that next time.
Yes.
And we want to show again the slide, if we could, telling people how to register. There's several steps involved in registering for the online auction. It takes about 10 minutes. Be patient. It's easy. It's pretty straightforward. But you do have to go through the registration process on the website, which you can get to through our website, themyrnaloy.com. Click on that registration button. It will take you there. You register, then you download the app onto your phone, either the Android or an iPhone. But you have to have it on your phone in order to bid. And then if you allow for push notifications, this is the cool thing about it, it will ping you when somebody outbids you on an item that you really wanted. So if you want that Zoom call with your favorite Broadway artists, or if you want, what was your favorite?
Not the Flathead sailing trip.
Right, because nobody
the ping doesn't work on that. Sorry.
Nobody can bid on that but you.
That's right.
Right,
That's
or the
right.
Dale Livesey painting,
Exactly.
or the beautiful photography, or any of the experiences and adventures that we have. We are hoping to gather some love to support the Myrna Loy during this difficult time, while the Myrna is involved in trying to restore and build and inspire the community in every way that we can, and also plan for our own future and support the wonderful staff that we have. There is a time for giving, there's a time for asking, there's a time for tightening the belt, and there's a time for kind of being bold and saying, this is what means the most to me. So we think that kind of we're all in those all places at the same time. And we are hoping that spreading the love to the Myrna Loy makes sense for everybody right now. Also, I want to let you know that during our open hours between noon and 7:30 tomorrow, or 1:30 and 4 o'clock on Saturday, people can come in and look at this beautiful Dale Livesey painting and see this beautiful Amy Brakeman Livesey painting up close and in person, because seeing a slide on the internet is not the same thing. So come and look at the artworks. Please join us. And we really just feel thanks in our hearts, don't we?
We
Always.
do, absolutely. Thank you. I mean, it is incredible to have the support of the community, and that means a lot to all of us who are involved here.
Yeah, it really does. We are wealthy in relationships. What I tell my cohorts and artists from New York when they come and they're like, why don't you have this equipment and why don't you have this fund? I say all of our wealth is in our relationships, and that makes us the luckiest anywhere. So thank you for your support of the Myrna Loy. Please go online and have fun bidding. Have a party of your own. We're very pleased that some of our people came to party here, and we hope that you will do the same thing with your friends and family and support the Myrna Loy. And whenever the time is right, we will see you here at the Myrna Loy.
And we're looking forward to it.
Bravo!
Thank you. Did we do our job?
We are.
It helped to have the clock.